Hey, there's Gary from 3Bug Media, and today we're going to talk about how to get more customer reviews for your business. Now, customer reviews are super important. Everybody looks at reviews today before they purchase something. So whether that's a product or a service, they're going to turn to the internet, they're going to look at reviews for your business or your product or service before they make a decision to buy from you. So they're super important. Pretty much every business really needs to start paying attention to their online reviews. So today we're going to talk about a really simple system and some tips on how to create your own little review system. You don't need any special software. There are some advanced ways to do this, but what we're going to go over today, anybody can do. You don't need anything special to get it going, okay? So when we talk about online reviews, we're talking about a lot of different sites. So we're talking about Google reviews, Facebook reviews, Yellow Pages, if you're a service industry, Angie's List or Homestars in Canada. And also, depending on your location or niche, you're gonna have a lot of niche sites. So if you're in maybe a spa, you're gonna have a lot of spa review sites, or maybe you're a dentist, you might have some health or dentist review sites, things like that. So it'll be up to you to search online to see which one of these review sites show up prominently, but you can't go wrong with Google reviews, probably the most important one. Facebook reviews are important too, because Google actually aggregates a lot of Facebook reviews in their search results. And their Yellow Pages is pretty standard as well, but like I said, it's up to you to turn around and look and see which ones are important for your business. Now, we're going to talk about a couple things here. The first thing we're going to talk about is having a system in place. So anybody could go on a binge and send out 100 emails and try to get some reviews, but the key with online reviews is to be consistent. You need to be consistent over time. For most industries, unless you're super duper competitive, you don't need to get 300 reviews a year. You don't need to get one every day. If you can focus on getting two a week, that's going to give you over 100 reviews a year. Okay, and that's probably going to be way more than your competitors are able to do. So make sure that you're consistent and you have a system set up. Set up a workflow. When we talk about a workflow, have somebody in your business, whether that's you, an assistant, a marketer, someone like that, make sure they're assigned as a review person. Okay, you have a system set up. And some of the things that you want to have in place is your review links, okay? You don't want to tell people, oh, just go to Google and find us and leave a review, or just find us on Facebook and leave us a review. You actually want to start getting these links together to make it easy for people, which we'll talk about in a minute. You want to make it easy for them, so make sure whatever reviews that you're going to ask for, you have a link that goes directly to that review page for them. You also want to set up your email templates. You don't want to have to create a new email every time you ask for a review. So set up a review template, and all you have to do is just insert the person's name in there, and then you can send it out and you can reuse that template over and over again, and it'll have your review links in there. Okay, so make sure you have a template, and you may also want to have a follow-up template, email template set up, because not everyone's going to leave a review on the first try. Most people won't leave the review, but you may want to do a follow-up email template as well set up for them. And if you're location based, you want to maybe think about creating some cards. Those can sometimes work, whether it's a business card or a postcard or something like that. Then when people are leaving, you can hand them that card, has the link, has the instructions, and what you're asking for, and those can work as well. So make sure you have a little system. This is probably the most important thing. Make sure you have a system set up and a workflow and somebody assigned to take care of your online review requests. The next thing is individual. Don't send mass email requests. Personalize them. A lot of times people just take their entire database, they'll upload them, and they'll send out an e-blast saying, hey, leave us a review, and then they scratch their heads and wonder why nothing happened. Okay? You have to personalize it. They send out a general one. People don't tend to want to waste their time leaving reviews unless they're angry. So you want to at least make it personal for them. If it comes, or at least it appears that way, that you're asking them individually on a one-on-one basis by name to leave a review, you put a little bit more pressure on them to leave the review than if you just sent out a mass anonymous email and asked everybody to leave a review. Those are easy to ignore, and 99% of the time that's what people do. They just ignore those. Okay, so make sure you take the time to personalize those reviews, those review requests. The next one is timing. And this is why mass emails don't work. You can't ask for a review 3 months after somebody has consumed your service or purchased your product. Timing is very important. You want to ask when they are the most happy. And most of the time, they're the most happy after they've consumed your product or service early on. So after they've made the purchase, maybe a couple days after, or if you're a service business, things like that, after you've completed whatever service you're delivering to them. That is the perfect time to ask for a review. Okay, so make sure that you figure out for your business when is a good time to make that request, because timing plays a big role, because you may have people that want to leave a review, but if you ask them at the wrong time, they don't really have the incentive or motivation to go leave that review. You want to strike while the iron's hot, so make sure you get them at the right time. Okay. The next thing is making it easy for them. So make it easy for people to leave a review for you. And like we said up here, have the links ready for them. Don't just tell them to go somewhere and find you and register for the account and leave a review. There's too many steps, and most likely, even if they attempt it, if they hit a roadblock, they're most likely going to stop and leave and not leave you a review. So make sure you have the links in place when you send out an email request. And also make sure that if it's something where they have to go through a couple steps, once they get to that site, lay out those steps. Say, hey, number one, go to this, click on this link. Number two, register for an account. Number three, search for our name and it'll pop up if for some reason you can't get a direct link to your review. But the key is make it super easy for people to do it. You'll get more people leaving your review if you make it simple for them. Lastly, incentives. I get this question a lot. I see it a lot. People are on both sides of the fence with it. Should I offer incentives to leave a review? Well, my answer is it depends. Okay, just so you're aware too, there are some sites, namely Google, it's actually against their terms of service to incentivize people to leave an online review on their platform. So if they do catch you, it's kind of hard for them to catch you. But if they do catch you or people start to report you, they can censor your reviews, or in drastic measure, maybe close your page down, your Google My Business page, which would be a huge loss for you. So just tread carefully. Some other sites don't really care if you incentivize your reviews, so it's really up to you, from a technical standpoint, if you want to incentivize reviews. The other thing with that is people can get turned off by incentivizing for reviews, and it really depends on what kind of relationship you have with that customer. And what I mean by that is, when you ask somebody to leave a review, they're going to leave you a review because they like the product, they like the service, or they like you personally, and they're doing it from the goodness of their heart. As soon as you introduce, some kind of incentive to it, you change that relationship. You change it from a social relationship. Now we're getting into social psychology here, but you change it from a social relationship to an economic relationship, and that can be troublesome sometimes. So if you don't have a strong relationship with your customer, incentivizing actually works pretty well. So if you're a restaurant, maybe you say, hey, leave us a review and get a free appetizer on your next visit. That's a home run. Okay. But if you're a service provider or a healthcare provider and you have rapport with that person, you have to tread lightly, because by offering incentives, you're now changing that relationship with them. And I'll give you an example. Say you're dating somebody and you really like this person and you want to make out with them. Okay. Now, if you turned around and said, and maybe they want to make out with you too, but you're going through your dating ritual. But if you turned around and you whipped out $20 and say, hey, let's cut to the chase. Here's $20. Let me make out with you. What do you think is going to happen to that relationship? Because you've changed it from a social relationship to an economic relationship. And now you're treating that other person like a prostitute. Okay. So some people can get offended by that, especially if they think you're friends with them and you have rapport with each other. If you turn around and start offering money or other incentives, they could get turned off by it. So just keep that in mind. I'm not saying not to do it, but it's not a no-brainer to offer incentives. You really have to look at the relationship you have with that customer. Okay, so these are the steps here. Like I said, create a system, individualize the requests. That's very important. Make sure you do it. Your timing is right. You're not doing it 3 months after the service has been, rendered. Make it super easy for them, so they're not going to hit roadblocks. They're not going to have excuses not to do it. And then it's up to you if you want to provide incentives or not, okay? So hopefully this is a nice, easy system for you and you'll be able to go out and start getting more reviews. The key is be consistent. So aim for a goal, whether that's 1 review a week or 2 a week or whatever, and just try to be consistent in making those review requests. Okay, thank you very much and have a good day.